Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So Sharrell from Sharrels World did an interview with Lindsey from Love After Lockup today, and I'm just going to be kind of recapping it and talking about the interesting points about parts that I haven't heard before and that was just news to me. So we're just going to be going over that. Sharrell says she's been trying to do this interview for 6 weeks now, but I guess there's a lot you have to go through to set up an interview with an inmate. They had to do it in 2 different parts, and then Sharrell couldn't do it live, so she ended up having to record it, download it, edit it, and then send it to her YouTube channel to upload. So she did the interview with Lindsey. So Lindsey said she's going to be getting out in March of 2022. She spoke on her relationship with Scott. She talked about Tara Bell, and there's some other interesting points. So, okay, the first thing I want to talk about is Lindsey said that Scott gave her chlamydia. She said that she was not with anybody because she had to stay at home. She was on house arrest and on an ankle bracelet, so she could not leave home. So she said she had not slept with no one, and she had to get tested before she left prison to make sure she was clean. And so she has paperwork proving that she was clean. She said she got out and she went through Scott's old phone and found out that he was seeing call girls behind her back. And when she found that out, she ended up getting tested and found out she had chlamydia. She blamed Scott, and Scott said, "I didn't give it to you. My place is cleaner than prison. Prison's dirty, so you probably got it from prison." And she's like, "I got my paperwork from prison proving that I'm clean. Show me your paperwork proving that you're clean." And Scott says he didn't have no paperwork to prove he was clean, and that he was has not been to the doctor and been tested in a long time. So Lindsey's said that she got chlamydia from Scott. So that was pretty crazy. Also, there's probably like 5 really interesting things she talked about in this interview. So that was the first part. Another part she talked about is parts that was not shown on TV. She said that Scott always stole her phone, and then one time when she had Tara Bell over, they were hanging out, and Tara Bell and Lindsey had the same phone, and Scott took Tara Bell's phone when it was on the charger in Lindsey's room, probably thinking it was Lindsey's phone and was going to go through it. And so he took her phone, and Tara Bell and Lindsey were freaking out on Scott, asking for her phone back for 3 hours. Scott was like, it was not me. And they had some other dude that was Lindsey's friend that was over at the house playing video games with Lindsey and Tara Bell. And so Scott blamed it on that dude, and Lindsey's like, "No, he's been downstairs the whole time. I know it was not him." And so then after 3 hours, Scott finally went outside and he dug up Tara Bell's phone from the garden, and he had buried it in the garden, and he dug it up and it was all muddy, and Tara Bell was super upset. And he only did that after Tara Bell started going 0 to 100, started getting real gangster, and was about to get physical with him. And then he finally, after 3 hours, went outside and got the phone and gave it back to her. And Tara Bell was so pissed because it was still all muddy and had dirt caught up in all the cracks and crevices, and she was just not happy one bit. And also, Scott, I guess Lindsey was on some psych medication that she got on last time she was in prison, and Scott had stolen her medication, and she woke up one morning and she needed this medication to be balanced out, and she woke up one morning and her medication wasn't there, and she knew she put it here, and it was time to film. And so she was sitting there and they had the cameras going, and she refused to start filming or doing anything until Scott gave her medication. I guess after an hour of her refusing to film, Scott finally gave her medication. And that's messed up, taking the girl's medication from her. I don't know what was his point for all that. Maybe he thought it was like something that wasn't her medication or something that she had. He was trying to, I'm not sure what his reasoning for that was. Also, when Sharrell asked Lindsey how Scott has his money, and Scott really a millionaire, and Lindsey said that he was a fake millionaire, she also said that Scott didn't have no money. He didn't have no people working for him and have all this money like people thought he did. She said that he was renting the house he was living in Mississippi, and he was 2 months behind. And the little 98 truck that he was driving, he was making payments on that, and he was behind on that. And Lindsey also claimed that the only reason he had money, allegedly, she said that he got $100,000 when his son died a couple years before Scott started talking to Lindsey. And she said that the money he was sending her was the money that he had gotten from insurance money from his son's death. So Lindsey said she had no idea that it was money from his son's insurance that he was sending to her. And Lindsey claims Scott was sending her like $500 a week, and she was sending $350 of that to Miley Grace every single week. And Lindsey also said that Scott's written her about 4 times since she's been locked up this time. And there was for a while where she would look at her balance and he would be depositing 1 cent into her account like once a week. And she said she got tired of that and eventually blocked him so he can no longer donate a penny a week to her account. And she said that was creeping him out. And she also said that she watches Love After Lockup, and there people recognize her in prison. But she also gave Scott credit and said Scott helped take care of Miley Grace when she was in prison. He took her school clothes shopping 1 year. He took her Christmas shopping 2 years in a row. He had bought her birthday presents. He even went to her play. So he really helped step up even when Lindsey was behind bars before she got out the first time. And Lindsey says her and Scott talked for 2 years prior to her getting out of prison and being on Love After Lockup. She said she would do the show again. She wishes she would have did it with another person besides Scott, and she says she wishes she would have gotten out of jail and went to the halfway house like she was supposed to. And I believe that if she would have had to go to a halfway house and have structured forced upon her and take drug tests here and there, I feel like that would have been, she would have had a way better chance than her going to Scott. She said she had no idea who Scott was, and she said she would have went to a halfway house or went to her mom's and just dated Scott from afar and got to know him, because she said she ended up moving in with him and she didn't even really know him. And once she finally did get to figure out who he was, she says she couldn't leave because she had to stay in that county and she didn't know anybody else in that county that lived there besides Scott. I wish Sharrell would have asked her, is she seeing anybody right now? That's one question I really wanted to have. I reached out to Lindsey for an interview. I wrote her a letter in prison, and I never heard back from her. But Sharrell said it took like 6 weeks. They had to jump through hurdles and hoops just to get this interview set up. But that's pretty much it. All that I can remember that was really interesting that I feel like hasn't been said before that she said in her interview. Like I said, I really wish she would have asked her if she's seeing someone or if she would date someone on Right a Prisoner again. But obviously, because she has an inmate profile out there, so I really wish she would have asked if she's talking to someone as of right now. That would have been really interesting. And Lindsey says she also, when she got out of jail, I guess her cousin had her set up with a job, and Lindsey was going to go to orientation for that job, and Scott refused to take her and promised her a job with his company, and said that they're going to get her license and get her a car so she could drive to work and work for Scott's company. But Lindsey said that was all BS, and Scott made her miss out on her cousin's job opportunity by promising her an opportunity with his company, and he never followed through. So Lindsey says that's the reason why she wasn't working and she felt stuck because of that. But that's it for this video. I think that's pretty much all the key points from the video that I can remember. If there is anything, let me know what you thought about that interview if you've seen it. It's on Sharrels World interview with Lindsey. And the audio wasn't the best. The audio was not the best, but I mean, you could still hear it. Let me know your guys' thoughts about everything Lindsey said in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you turn on the bell notification so you don't miss it when I drop another video.